皆さん、こんにちは。私は Zack です。I will be your sensei in learning Japanese over the course of however long I want to do this, I guess. But definitely this entire book. This is Genki 1 version 3. I recommend this book to anyone who is learning in this course. I You don't have to get it. I believe I found a PDF version of it that I can send to everyone. I'll link that in the comments as well as some other resources for y'all. You'll have a PDF version to follow along with, and there will also be some other resources in there as well, like some websites to practice and some things I've gotten from some of my teachers over the years, things like that. So today is the first lesson, so I'm going to be basically assuming that you know zero Japanese and you were picking this book up for the first time, as many of my fellow classmates did in their first Japanese class at my university. So there's a couple things we're going to go over here. Today we're going to be talking about hiragana. We're going to be going over some greetings, and we're going to be going over numbers. Those are the three things we're going to touch today. Maybe a little bit of kanji, just to get us started. We'll see how long it takes, I guess. I don't really know how long I want to make these videos. I mean, typically my class is 50 minutes. I don't know if this should be 50 minutes or not. I understand people would probably get bored, but like, I mean, it's a Japanese class. Like, are you here to learn or not? I don't know. Also, it's just helpful for me, so it doesn't matter to me how really long it is. Just let me know if you prefer a preferred format. I'll also be doing live streams of classes as well as live streams of study sessions tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. If you would like to study with me, I will be live streaming here tomorrow, so please stop by. I think probably around noon or something. Something like that, maybe early afternoon. But okay, so let's get into hiragana. There's a lot of hiragana, okay? So the way we learned it is we kind of went over like one line at a time. So like a, I, U, E, O, and then we would go down and learn. I think we learned like 3 lines each week, and then or day, I think. So like by the first week we went over it, but like of course we didn't know it that fast. But what I would say is like you should have hiragana down in about a month, in terms of like at least being able to read it. Reading is a little bit easier than writing because writing takes a little bit more recall. But when it comes to reading, it's a lot easier. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go over probably the first. I think the first 3 lines is good. So that would be a, U, E, O, kaki, ku, ke, ko, sa, shi, su, se, so. Okay, so we're gonna go over those first 3 lines. Got my nice whiteboard here. So Japanese has something called stroke orders. You could look it up and follow it if you want, if it makes it easier for you to memorize. I think that's probably helpful for kanji, but me personally, I mean, I often write English words pretty weird, so I also write Japanese words however I want as well. So if you want to do it the right way, I suppose you could look up the stroke order, but I'm just going to write however I feel. So we have a. These are the vowels of hiragana. A, I, U, E, and O. And this marker's kind of being a little black. So I got another one right here, another black one. Should be working a bit better. So this is again called hiragana. And these little letters underneath are called romaji, which are basically the English pronunciation of Japanese characters. which helps English speakers learn Japanese. I will be writing in Romaji, unfortunately, for quite a lot of these lessons because I understand that people don't know this stuff yet. And as I was preparing for this lesson, I realized that I actually have a hard time writing in Romaji now because I'm so used to writing in Hiragana. I'm at the point now where I like if I can't read something, I write in Hiragana over like the stuff. It's if it makes sense. I don't know. Um, but again, so these are the kanji or not kanji. Kana. A, I, U, E, O. Okay. So there's the vowels. These are all very important. I wouldn't worry about these too much because you're gonna write them like a million times. So if you wanted to practice, I would practice the next two lines more personally. Um, Ka, this is one of my favorites. I think this was like my first hiragana I ever like memorized. You just want a fun fact. Ka, ki, ku, ke, and ko. Okay, so again, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. Okay. Now the next line is sa. Oops, I'm writing in English. Sa, shi, su, se, and so. Just trying to make sure I write it in the right order. Okay. So these are the first three lines we're going to go over today. Okay. And if you're curious about these little things right here, these little lines, I don't remember what they're called. I don't know if they're called like, I think they're called like strokes of a G or something, but these little accents change the sound. There's two different kinds. There's this kind here, and there's this kind here, just a little circle above. So if, and you don't use it on the vowels, it's only for the consonants. So for she's a very common one that changes its pronunciation a lot. This changes to ji. So instead of she, like it does normally, it changes to ji. And we'll go over that later. I just wanted to talk about that because you're going to be seeing a little bit of that today. I didn't want you to be confused. There's also two hiragana I want to mention just on the side real quick before we get into the next part because it gets a little confusing. This is hiragana ha, and this is hiragana wa. Okay, so more often than not, this is going to be pronounced wa instead of its actual pronunciation of ha. And that's because this is used as a particle. It's called a particle. There are many particles. We're going to get into this next episode, but here's a couple of them just as an example. Ka is also a particle. There's a couple there. And these kind of give meaning to the sentence. I don't exactly know how to explain it. I couldn't explain English grammar to be honest with you, but I believe it marks like the subject of the sentence. So I could give you a example sentence real quick if you want. Very, very simple sentence. This marker right here, call it a pen. I'll write in hiragana even though you wouldn't. So this is pen. Actually, kore wa. And this is like the most English or first sentence you ever learned ever thing. Kore wa pen desu is like the most simple Japanese sentence ever. Kore means this. Wa marks this, and the pen kind of connects the two things if you want to look at it that way. I don't know, it just kind of makes sense. I wish I could explain it better, to be honest with you. But I'm not like a Japanese major. Well, I am a Japanese major, but I'm not like, I haven't taught Japanese for um, 20 years like my sensei. So unfortunately, I can't. But yeah, I got to start somewhere. So kore wa pen desu. This is the particle wa here. Even though you would pronounce this ha under other sort of circumstances, like for example, word ha. Hare. Hare means sunny. Okay, this is sunny weather. You wouldn't pronounce this ware. That would be incorrect. I would say, I guess kind of a rule of thumb for now is if ha is later in the sentence or the word, it probably is going to be pronounced as wa, just as like a, I don't know, a shortcut until you kind of understand what that even means. But yeah, so, and I honestly believe you could like write like a, I, U, A, O a bunch of times, to learn, write like 10 times or something. I think that's a good start. But to be honest with you, the way I learn hiragana, katakana, I need to learn katakana better, but that's kind of what this whole thing is for, is I get to learn it with you guys as well. In kanji, I would recommend that you use the hiragana and things like that into words so that you're memorizing vocabulary as well as the letters themselves. And I will include that in the description as well. Some words you guys can practice writing. Okay, I'll put that in a Google Doc down below that y'all can practice writing that. Okay. So let's move on to this right here. These are greetings. Okay. I'll stare at this for a second. I need a water break. Okay, so Japanese pronunciation. I personally find it very easy, but I I wouldn't exactly. I guess I kind of am a natural in some ways for Japanese, but a lot of people in my class pronounce things well as well. Well, obviously English isn't my thing. They pronounce things well too. Um, so I don't think you're gonna have too much of an issue with Japanese. It's fairly easy to pronounce things for the most part. I think the hardest things are like rarirero, right here. The R sounding ones are the hardest ones. But other than that, everything's very easy. But again, that's just me. If you need help pronouncing things, if you need help with anything, just let me know in the comments. Zack Sensei, help me with this or that, or I have a question about this. I will help you. I read all the comments. I'll help however I can. So, first thing is ohayo. So, o ha yo. This is kind of a this is a U, so you would think it'd be ohayu, but or ohayo. This little oo sound. It wouldn't. So I would technically spell it like O here because of the way it actually sounds, but it's a U. This is a U, and I didn't want to get everyone confused because the book says an O, but that's kind of a later thing where like I don't even want to get into it because it's confusing. Just know this is pronounced Ohio, okay? So just like the state of Ohio, which we all know is Ohio. Um, it's pronounced pretty much the same, Ohio. So, but just with a longer O. So like, I don't know, like, oh, Ohio. Very, very easy, okay? Now, this is the same exact word, but with gozaimasu at the end. So, gozaimasu, gozaimasu, ohayo gozaimasu. So, gozaimasu is used at the end of some words to make it formal, okay? So this is more of an informal greeting. This is more of a formal greeting, okay? We have hi and ie. Hi, ie. Hi, ie. This means yes. This means no. I don't. I guess I probably didn't mean to, I didn't say the meaning of this, but this is good morning, by the way. Sorry. I am new at this. Give me some time to get used to this. This means good morning. Informally, formally, this is yes. This is no. Okay. So, is it morning for you? Answer hi, ie. Maybe it is morning for you, maybe it isn't. Hi, it is morning. Ie, it is not morning for me. Okay. Now we have konnichiwa, which is a very common phrase. I'm sure everyone knows this. This just basically means hello, but this is also kind of a good afternoon, as well as a like. Basically, you would use this anytime after morning, before evening. It's kind of the time frame you'd use konnichiwa. Sometimes you'd even use it in the evening, um, which we'll get into later. I guess we'll get into it now. It's right across here. Go right here to konbanwa. This is another kind of greeting. It's kind of the same. This kind of means good evening. So this kind of takes over after konnichiwa. Loses its meaning throughout the day, I suppose. So we have kon, and these have the same kon, ni chi wa, kon ban wa. This is what I was talking about earlier with wa being pronounced as a wa here. This is actual wa. This is the fake wa, which is usually pronounced ha, but in this context, it is going to be pronounced wa. Okay, so konnichiwa, konbanwa. Okay. Now we'll go into sayonara. This one's probably a little harder to say for a new speaker. So I'll say it really slowly. Sa, yo. Again, the yo. It's kind of an extender of the sound. Sayonara. 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 Whenever you're learning new words in Japanese or any language, you want to start with saying it very slowly and then slowly speeding up. That's what I tell everyone. Makes it very easy. Okay, next we have arigato, which is again a very common one that y'all probably know. Oh, this means goodbye. God, I keep forgetting. This means goodbye. It's a formal goodbye. It technically is more used for like a goodbye, I probably won't see you again goodbye, but the way we use it in class is more of a formal goodbye. So I don't know. It's the formal version of goodbye, and it's what we learn. So sayonara and arigato, which means thank you. So again, I'll say it slowly. Arigato. Again, that o coming off here, even though this is an u, it is going to be an o here. We'll talk about it eventually, I promise. So, arigato, and this is a little bit more informal, but I think all versions of thank you are kind of formal. You also have domo arigato, which means, thank you very much. So you put domo at the beginning, gives a little bit more meaning to it. You can also put gozaimasu at the end here to make it more formal. Arigato gozaimasu. Arigato gozaimasu. Okay. You can't just throw gozaimasu at the end of anything. It's just for specific words. And that's why I kind of put this one in parentheses here when we get to it. Okay, so we have sumimasen. 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 So sumimasen means excuse me. Okay. And I'll review all this again before we move on. Don't worry if you didn't write it down or whatever. Sumimasen, excuse me. This is a very common phrase as well. Very important. Whenever you're asking for help, whenever you need something, whenever you need someone out of your way or whatever. Sumimasen. Very, very good. Probably the most useful phrase here so far, besides arigato. Konbanwa, we went over, kind of like konnichiwa. This is good afternoon, this is good evening. We have oyasumi and oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai. This is good night. You probably could also use it as like in conjunction with sayonara, to kind of say goodbye to someone that you wouldn't see again that night or whatever, if you wanted to, but it's more used of like if you are living with someone and you're like saying goodnight or whatever, or you're saying goodnight to someone on the phone or something like that. So oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi, and I feel like you almost would never say nasai because like when would you be in a formal situation to say goodbye to someone like this? It's kind of weird. But oyasumi means good night. Okay. Moving on to this section here. This section is going to be about introducing yourself. Okay, so a challenge in the comments today, homework if you will, is simply to introduce yourself in the comment section. So we have hajimemashite. Okay, and after you say hajimemashite, you would say your name. I have a very simple way to say it right here. There's a lot of ways to say what your name is. This is the simplest way. So again, hajimemashite. So hajimemashite. Hajimemashite. You kind of put shi and te close, like shite, shite. Hajimemashite. Hajimemashite. Okay? Then we have watashi wa, which means I am, or just I. Watashi wa Zack desu. Watashi wa Zack desu. I am Zack. It's kind of what that means, but it also is, people understand it as my name is Zack. But more English translation is I am Zack. But so the order of this is hajimemashite, watashi wa your name, whatever your name is, desu. Okay, and then you go into yoroshiku, yoroshiku. So shiku, you say shiku, yoroshiku. A lot of times with shi, the following consonant or whatever is going to be pronounced a little faster. It's hard to explain. Again, it kind of comes with time, and a lot of stuff I can't even go into yet because it's just the first lesson. So just believe me, okay? yoroshiku, okay? Yoroshiku. Yoroshiku onagai shimasu. Onagai shimasu, okay? Onagai shimasu. So mas is a very common ending of a word. You'll see it a lot. It is a formal ending of many words, mainly verbs and stuff like that. And onagashimasu, just by itself, we're just using onagashimasu. You'll see this a lot. This kind of means please, or please do, or like it's kind of a, it's hard, yeah. Just I would see it's kind of like a please. But another way to say please is kudasai, kudasai. But that's usually used after the end of something, whereas onagashimasu is kind of just its own, like you use that by itself, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go over it from the beginning here. Hajimemashite, watashi wa Zack desu. Yoroshiku onegashimasu. Kind of do that little bow, little yoroshiku onegashimasu. Kind of like that. Hajimemashite, watashi wa, whatever your name is, desu. Yoroshiku onegashimasu. Okay, so please write that in the comments. You can write in Romaji if you would like. If you have a Japanese keyboard thingy going on with your computer, you can, of course, write in Japanese if you like. Now going over again, just all this again. Ohayo, good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu, good morning formally. Hai, ie, yes, no. Konnichiwa, hello or good afternoon. Sayonara, goodbye. Arigato or arigato gozaimasu. There's also domo arigato. All means thank you. And then we have sumimasen, which means excuse me, sorry, my phone. Sumimasen, excuse me. Konbanwa, good evening. Konbanwa, konbanwa. Oyasumi, oyasumi nasai, same thing, but this is formal. Good night. Okay, and then one more time. Hajimemashite, watashi wa Zack desu. Yoroshiku onegashimasu. That is the beginning of that. Okay. Put this to the side, I suppose. We'll write the 3 lines of hiragana again one more time, just for practice. We have a, i, u, a. Sometimes I write a funny. And then o. We have ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, sa, shi, su, se, so. Okay? A, I, u, e, o, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, sa, shi, su, se, so. I will go into it one at a time, just so you can see how I write it. So kind of write 2 little lines there. Little fishy boy in the middle. E, like this, just boop, boop. U, just a little, it looks like a U in English, but upside down. And then another U on top, or just a little line there. Doesn't really matter. U, and A, do a little line like this. And it's kind of like a fancy H. Got a little fancy H here. This is A. Okay. Then we have O. Again, we have the little line here. Go down again. This time, we go around just like that. Do a little tilde there. So one more time. O. We have ka. Very simple. Ki. Do 1, 2. 1, 2. Very simple. Looks like a key. Ku. Very easy. Ku's probably going to be a lot of your favorites because you can just write it a million times and it's so easy. K. K is pretty easy too. You got your one line here. Boom, boom. Just 3 strokes. Ko. Ko is also pretty easy. It's technically just 2 lines, but you want to make sure you have a little bit of a little intersection here, little doop, just like that. That's ko. Okay. Now sa. Sa and ki are similar, so let's kind of look at that. Ki has 2, sa has 1. Okay. Other than that, they're the exact same. For some reason, I just see sa as like this dude who's like sa dude. Like I don't know why, but like that's how I see it. So like if that makes you see it easier, like this is an eyeball and that's a little face. I don't know. That's how I always see it. So you have sa, right? Very easy. She, it looks like a J. Dude. I write J's backwards sometimes because I've written she so many times. So can't wait for that to start happening to you as well. So she, Sue, very easy, one line, and a little squiggly at the bottom. Loop de loop and pull. We have say, very easy, one here, one right there, one here, boom. We have so. This is one of my favorite ones because it has a Z in there. It has a Z and a C, which is my initials. Very cool. I could never forget this one simply because of that. Unfortunately for you, your initials are not ZC, so good luck with that. But very easy, just a Z and a C. And that is the 3 lines of hiragana we're going to learn today. Okay. You're wondering, we'll just write hiragana just so we have a little understanding if you see this written somewhere. So, hiragana. Hiragana. One of the 3 alphabets of Japanese. So you will learn 3 lines of hiragana. Study those 3 lines. Study the greetings. There are more greetings than this, but I found these to be the most useful. So start with those, I suppose. And introduce yourself in the comments. And the last thing we're going to do is go into numbers, which is on very early on in the book. Should be one of the first things. I don't want to skip too far on accident. Here it is. So numbers. You're going to think I'm crazy, but we're going to count all the way to 100. You're going to think I'm insane. I don't know. Not that bad. Count all the way to 100 today, okay? We're gonna use some red. I'm getting tired of black. Yeah, I'm trying not to write in kanji because I know numbers in kanji. 0, very easy. It is simply zero or re. So it's pronounced like this. There's a 0. Zero. It is important to note the other pronunciation because sometimes numbers, sometimes when you're using numbers in other contexts like time, for example, you wouldn't say zeroji, which means basically midnight. You would say reiji, the other pronunciation, rei, which is actually with an e, but for pronunciation's sake, if you want that written, it's actually written in katakana, so it's going to look a little weird, but to you, but zero or rei, which is right here. So you should know both versions. Some numbers have multiple pronunciations. You should know them. They do. It is important. So, zero. Ichi, which is ichi. Ni, yeah, san, yon, or shi. Go, roku, let's see, roku, nana, that's right, na weird sometimes, nana slash shi, chi, and you have hachi, q, does it have a little u at the end, I think? Yep. No. Yeah, it does. Q slash ku. And last one is ju. Okay, so this is 1 through 10 plus the 0 up here, which is in katakana, so I don't really want to write it. But just know it's basically 0. 0 is 0. All right. So ichi, ni, san, yon. I almost wrote go. Go. Roku, nana, hachi, kyu, ju. I'm going to show you guys something crazy, okay? We're going to write 20. And we're also going to write 11. And after I show you 20 and 11, you will be able to write all the way to 99. All right? So, anyone guess what 20 is? We have ju right here. We also have a 2 over here. Hey, Tora. Tora wants to come and learn with everyone. I'm going to give you a spoiler. It's ni ju. Okay? That is 20. All you have to do is put the 2 in front of ju, and now we have 20. Okay? Japanese kind of uses numbers in a, like, I don't know if I think it's multiplication. I want to say addition, but it's kind of more multiplication because it's 2 times 10, which is 20. So if that helps, if you're really good at math, just kind of think 2 times 10 is 20, and that is how we get niju. If that's easier for you, you can learn it that way. So if we know that Niju is 20, what do you think 30 is? Well, Ju's going to be in there, that's for sure. But what number? San, of course. We have San in there. Now we have Sanju, 30, all right? Now we're going to write 11. 11 is going to be written as Ju Ichi, which, is this still multiplication? I'm trying to think. This is more addition, okay, because it doesn't work the same way, but yeah. Because if you did it for like 12, it wouldn't work, I don't think, because 2 times 10 would be 20. So this is more addition. If you're looking for a number on the other side of Ju, the right side is going to be more addition, whereas the left side is multiplication. I don't know if that's easier for you, but maybe it is. Juichi. Oh, I wrote Chichi instead of Ichi. So Juichi. Okay. So anyone can guess what 12 is? It's Ju Ni. 12 is Ju and then Ni. 13 is Ju San. 14 is Ju Yon. Very easy. I hope it's easy and I'm not just kind of like making you feel bad. But I'm trying my best here to explain it. So, from the top, I will show this part. It's probably better than my handwriting. I know it's a little small, but we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, what would 21 be? We don't have 21 written here. 21 would be ni, because we're going to write the 2 first, right? Then we got ju for the 10, because this is basically in terms of, sorry, dumb. This makes it easier for you. That's basically what that means. Ni, ju, ichi. Okay, so we have ni, that 2 right here. We got ju right here, and then ichi right here. And that equals 21. So same thing with all the numbers. So it'd be 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then 30. Okay? And that goes all the way up to 99. Okay? The reason I say 99 is because 100 has a special reading. 100 is pronounced hyaku. So it's technically like this. Hyaku. There we go. So I believe, I can't think of all of them, but once you get past 100, just in general, then the numbers are no longer as easy to count. So that's why I only wanted to go to 100. One day we'll go to all the way to like 100,000, but not today, and not in a long time. So until then, you now know how to write slash read and say Japanese from 1 to 100, theoretically. You're obviously going to have to practice that. One thing, if you want to practice, is if you have an Alexa or some other kind of alarm, something that kind of randomly generates a number. Basically, I set a morning routine on my Alexa to say, well, in my case, it would be like 0 to like 100,000. But for you, it'd be 0 to 100, or whatever numbers you want to practice in between. So maybe you have 0 down. Maybe you have all the way to 5 down, but like 6 gives you a hard time. Roku do 100 gives you a hard time. So you'd set a, I'm sure a lot of applications do this. If you don't have an Alexa or anything like that, something that speaks to you in the morning or wakes you up, you say, hey, I want you to say a random number at this time. And say it, just say the number in English, and then I have to translate it into Japanese. So, for example, I wake up tomorrow, and it shouts at me 72. Sorry, that looked a little weird. 72. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm groggy and I don't want to do this, but you could also do it at a different time, like in the evening or whatever, just, I don't know. Or so you can set an alarm on your phone and be like, I'm going to practice one random number. I don't know. Whatever works for you, but I just do it in the morning. So I'd be like, oh crap, I don't know. I know there's a 7 in there, so there's a nana somewhere. Be like, oh shit, there's a 2 in there. Be like, oh, that's not right. Then I'd figure it out, and I'm like, oh, it's nanaju. Sorry, my nana looks weird. It's nanaju ni. Because again, the 7 comes in before the ju, and then the number after the ju right here, right there. So that's just one way to practice that if you want. So I don't know when I'm going to record the next one, but tomorrow we're going to do I'm going to do a live stream where I study kanji, and if any of you guys pop in or anyone has questions about Japanese in general, depending on where you're at in your learning process, I will do my best to help you. But please attend that if you want. I think I'll do a weekly study session and at least a weekly lesson, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to structure these just yet. I kind of want to see what happens. So just thank you for watching. Arigatou gozaimasu. I appreciate. I'll give you one more chance to look at this if you wanted to take a picture or something. Just thank you for watching. I appreciate any feedback I can get on this. What things you want to see, like what are some things you particularly want to learn? We're obviously going to be sticking to the structure of the book, but if you want to learn something outside of that, I can throw that in here as well. If you have questions from the first episode, things like that. Next episode, we're going to be going into more going down the line of the book, but also we will review the stuff we learned in the first part. We're going to go over more hiragana. So the next couple lines of hiragana here we'll go into, and hopefully by the end of a couple of these lessons you will feel more comfortable with Japanese. And again, this is kind of just a thing for me where like I get practice by teaching. So in a way it's a little selfish, if I must say, but I'm also teaching what I've learned, so it's a little selfless in a way as well. I don't know, but I enjoy it. I like teaching. I want to teach English to Japanese people overseas, so that's kind of one of the things I want to do. So this is practice for me, just the reverse order of me teaching English people Japanese, but you know, it's kind of the same thing. Teaching is teaching. teaching a language is teaching a language. So if I can teach Japanese, then I can teach English, you know, which shouldn't be that bad. So just thank you for watching. And again, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. And see you next time. Peace.